and welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. Derby County host Swansea City here at Pride Park this afternoon. The Rams looking to move back into the Championship playoff places as head coach John Eustace marks a milestone. It was a year yesterday that Eustace was appointed Derby boss, and a year ago today that he took charge of the Rams for the first time. We'll say no more about that trip to Loftus Road, but what a job he's done since. Arriving with Derby in the thick of the relegation scrap, he kept the Rams in the Championship last season and now has them pushing for the playoffs when not many picked Derby to be in contention at the start of the campaign.
It's been a roller coaster. Amazing experience. You know, I've loved every minute of it, every challenge. You know, it's amazing to be working for this football club, and you know, there's a lot of hard work ahead. We're here to build and make this a real special place to play and get us back in the right end of the league and push in. And I think we've made good progress. Still a hell of a lot of hard work ahead and a lot more progress, but you know, I think we've been okay up to now.
Are you surprised by how much progress you've been able to make, given where you were when you arrived a year ago?
No, I think you know the reason I came to the football club is because I would be supported, and you know the support we've got behind the scenes is amazing, and the fans are obviously top draw as well. And I think the majority can see that all the hard work we've been putting in and where we want to eventually get the club. So we've had the support and the buy-in from nearly everyone, and. You know, for me, you know, we work very, very hard as a coaching staff and as a group of players. And you know, if you do the right things, then you can get that progression, and you can get it a little bit quicker than maybe people expect. But you know, we're nowhere near the finished article, and we're nowhere near where I want us to be. But over the year, we've certainly made good strides going forward.
I certainly have. Are there any highlights for you, matches, moments that really stick out?
I think, you know, every victory last season was a major highlight after losing the first three, and that Blackburn game, you know, at home was the kickstart of everything really. And I thought the buy-in for everyone, the atmosphere on that day was awesome, and they really got behind me as a fan base as well, which was really nice. And you know, and I think that's what we're all about. I think the Derby County family now has grown, and you can see home and away that we're together. Of course, we're not always going to get the right result, and there's always going to be a few moans and groans, but that's what football's all about. You know, I think as long as you can see where we want to take the football club, you know, that's all I ask for.
Just this week, you've been nominated for the Championship Manager of the Month award for January. It's your third nomination since you joined the club. Is it nice to be recognised?
It is, but again, as I say, it's still the hard work from the players, the staff and the fans. You know, that there's no one individual that makes a good environment or a good team. It's always the collective, and it's always how everyone works together and wants to improve and make the environment and the club better. So yeah, it's certainly a group effort, and you know, I'm very grateful for everyone's efforts up to now.
And you have an award winner in the ranks as well, Bobby Clark, picking up the EFL Young Player of the Month award for January. He seems to have got better and better as the season's gone on.
Yeah, he has, and I think, you know, as well as two or three other players, when we signed Bobby, he wasn't match fit. You know, he had no pre-season. It was always going to take him time to grow and to develop. The last couple of games, possibly, you know, it's kind of caught up with him a little tiny bit as well, you know, which is very understandable with the amount of excellent work that he's actually produced on the pitch, and there's so much more growth to come from him, and I'm sure he'll finish the end of the season on a high, and will certainly be a match winner for us.
Yeah, easy to forget how young he is, and I think you've used him almost as much as anyone. Have you used him how you thought you would use him when he signed, in terms of positionally? Well,
listen, when we got one central midfielder in Liam Thompson available, and then we asked Clarkey to step in and fill the boots of Travis and David Ozo and Abu Adams. You know, he stepped in, and I thought he was magnificent, and I do think that's helped with his development as a player. Now he's playing in more of a forward role, which is where he wants to play. I think that defensive responsibility and the all-round responsibility for him to make tackles, get back into shape, has certainly helped part of his progression.
We saw some images of Carlton Morris training with the boys earlier this week. How's Carlton getting on?
Carlton's doing great. It's amazing to have him back in the group, of course. You know, he's been a big miss to us. And just to have him on the pitch again is fantastic. You know, he's encouraging, he's demanding, his standards are very high, and you know, we're delighted that he's back in with the group.
Is it important that you're careful with him?
100%, yeah. We can't afford to lose him again. You know, he's had maybe 3 days now with the first team, you know, after being out for such a long time. So we've certainly got to protect him, and we've got to make sure that he comes back into the first team squad at the right time so he can make an impact.
Rest of the group looking okay?
Yeah, the lads have worked really well this week. You know, they're in a good place. Obviously, the signings we've made in the transfer window as well as certainly give everyone a boost, which is ideal. And you know, the squad are in a real good place. Yeah.
That's the Derby boss, John Eustace, reflecting on his first 12 months as Rams head coach. Derby, perhaps one of 12 teams all in the hunt for one final championship playoff place. Middlesbrough have overhauled Coventry at the top. Ipswich have a game in hand as they try to chase down the top two. There's 6 points between Millwall in 5th and Wrexham in 6th, and then 5 points separating the next 10 all the way down to Swansea in 15th. That means a win for the visitors today will take them level on points with Derby. There seems to be far fewer candidates to go down than up this season. Sheffield Wednesday are heading to League One, and it looks like 2 of West Brom, Portsmouth, Leicester, Blackburn or Oxford will join them. Not everyone in the Championship in action this weekend. More on that when we take you through the fixtures later. Now, John Eustace may have missed out on the Championship Manager of the Month award, but as you've heard, there is an award winner in the ranks. After a fine January, Bobby Clark has been named the EFL Young Player of the Month.
Oh. Nice, this, isn't it? Yeah, buzzing with this. Obviously, been a good month, and yeah, rewarded with a trophy. So yeah, buzzing.
Bobby, EA Sports FC EFL Young Player of the Month for January. Congratulations! A nice bit of recognition for a brilliant month for you.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. Obviously, to get rewarded with this. It's been a good month. A few goals, assists, and yeah, a few good wins.
Spoke previously about that desire to add more goals to your game. I think 3 recorded in January, starting on New Year's Day with that winner against Borough. Talk us through that run of form in front of goal.
Yeah, obviously moving forward into a bit more of an attacking role. I've been looking to add a few contributions to my name, and yeah, that first goal against Middlesbrough set us off nicely, and yeah, thankfully I could add a few after that.
And your other 2 goals were both set up by Ben Brereton Diaz. I think you in turn assisted him for his at Bristol City. Tell us a little bit about that link up and what it's like to play with him.
Yeah, I think we've developed a good little chemistry over the last few games, playing closer to him on the right-hand side and stuff. And yeah, in that game against Bristol, obviously I gave him one to start with, and then he sent me through. Yeah.
And like you say, it's coincided with you moving a bit further forward again in that role, especially since the return of Lewis Travis and David Ozo. Just tell us a little bit about the licence it gives you and how much you've enjoyed operating in that number 10 role.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it over the past few games. Obviously, with them 2 behind us, it gives me a bit of freedom and a bit more chances to run beyond and get chances in front of goal. So yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air.
And collectively 4 wins and a draw from 6 in the Championship in January. How good a month was it for the team, and what kind of platforms did it give you for the last 15 games?
Yeah, it was an important month, obviously with a lot of games, and we picked up some really important points. But yeah, we're just looking to push on in the last few games.
Bobby, congratulations.
Cheers, mate.
That's the EFL's Young Player of the Month for January, Derby's Bobby Clark. Well, Derby hosting Swansea today, who, like the Rams, seem to have dragged themselves into the Championship playoff conversation. It's been quite a turnaround under new boss Vitor Matos. He actually lost his first 2 games in charge back in November, including that defeat to Derby in his maiden fixture. But Swansea have gone from being only outside the relegation zone on goal difference to 10 points clear of the bottom 3 since, and just 5 points off the playoffs. The goals of Championship top scorer Zanvit Potnik have played a big part in that. He's got 15 for the campaign, including a brace in their 4-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday last weekend. Well, Derby could welcome back their top scorer, Carlton Morris, today after nearly 3 months on the sidelines. But we'll focus on things at the other end of the pitch. Josh Vickers made his first championship start of the campaign last weekend, not long after signing a new deal at Pride Park.
Yeah, it's obviously, I feel like the club's going in a direction that I want to be a part with. You know, the conversations happened a little while ago, as you probably know with these things. They take a little bit of time and a bit of back and forth, but no, I'm really happy to be here for another 3 years.
How do these things work? You alluded to it there. Do you open the conversation? Do the club come to you? How does it happen?
Yeah, in fact, I think a bit of both really. The club kind of mentioned it back end of last year if it was something that I'd be sort of interested in, and obviously I was, and we got speaking, and then I didn't need much convincing to be here for a bit more time. What
is the thought process? What are the pros and cons that you're weighing up when you come to that decision?
Yeah, I think where you are in your life, you know, I'm happy here. The club's done a lot for me. I enjoy being here. I enjoy working and training and playing when I get the opportunity. So I think like sometimes, you know, when you're happy, you know, you have to really take that into consideration, and I'm happy being here.
I wanted to ask about your connection to the supporters, because you seem to be close. It seems to be a really genuine bond, done without playing maybe as much as you would have liked.
Yeah, no, I think it comes from maybe some personal stuff that obviously happened early on in my time here, and I'll never forget that. Never will. You know, they were there for me in a really tough time and supported me, and I feel like every time I go out there, I just want to repay that to them. And as you said, it probably hasn't come from playing as much as I would have liked, but I hope, you know, that opportunity comes in the near future.
Over 2.5 years you've been here now. You're actually one of the longest serving players after, I think, Fozzie and Tomo. Talk to me about how that room has sort of changed around you.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, we're speaking about this just after sort of the window shut. You know, there's a big shift obviously from when first come in. There's only a few of us left from that sort of League One year, and the club's evolving, and there was a great change room, and it still is a great change room, and the players that obviously the club and the gaffers bringing in are just progressing, and you know, training's getting better and better. Each player comes in.
There's been a lot of talk about goalkeepers this season. Jakob Vidal-Zederstrom's been in excellent form, and then we have Rich O'Donnell's storyline of having to step in a couple of times. Give us a bit of insight into the mentality from his point of view for that first game when he had to step in at Charlton with very little notice. How do you get your head around that as a keeper?
I think it's what we do. You know, Rich has obviously played a lot of games in his career and been about, and you know, the way we work and train as a group, you know, obviously Jacob's been the one that's playing and doing well, so we still have to train as if we're going to be the one up. And I think you look across the league this year, it's been pretty strange for goalkeepers. There's been a lot of clubs that have used not only 2, but some have used 3, maybe even 4, which you don't really see sort of a few years back. So I think just that mindset of always being ready, and obviously that instance, Rich has been brilliant when he come in and done well, and it's no surprise to any of us, you know, the way we train and work together, you know, everyone has to be ready.
I know there's real unity within the group, and I know you were delighted for him that he got his opportunity. From your point of view, is there some frustration that you weren't available to step in at first?
Yeah, well, there's always frustration, you know, you wait and you work, but I was injured, so, you know, when you're injured, you're not really much used to the team and whatnot, so he was next man up, and the gaffer's always been really big on the next man up being ready to perform, and it's just a credit to the group as well. You know, it's not easy. We've had obviously 3 different goalies in the last 4 league games, but the group have just cracked on, and no one's complained, and just like it makes it easy just to settle in.
You made your first championship start of the season last weekend against Ipswich. Not the result you wanted, of course, but how did it feel for you to be back out there?
Yeah, obviously it's great being back out there, especially at home in front of the fans. You know, it's where we love playing football and that. And yeah, obviously the way it worked out, I managed to get a chance after coming back from an injury. So no, it was really pleasing.
And it's a year this week since the gaffer arrived at the football club. Can you give us a bit of insight into the effect that John Eustace has had here?
Obviously you can see it from where we were a year ago to where we are now. You know, it's chalk and cheese. So I just think the whole environment has naturally picked up, and you know, the standards have improved, and that's not regarding what was before, but I feel like the club's just going in a different trajectory now, and it's really pleasing to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you're in such a different place now to where you were a year ago. How much more do you feel there is to come from this group?
I think there's a lot more. You know, obviously we've got some new bodies in the latest window, and I think just being able to train with them and work each day and implement what the gaffer wants, you know, you can see it coming out. Obviously, especially away from home, and hopefully we can start picking up at home as well.
And that's Derby goalkeeper Josh Vickers. Right, it's FA Cup 4th round weekend, which means there are only 5 matches in the Championship today. Of particular interest in the playoff race is Watford's trip to Preston, while the top 2 face off on Monday night as Coventry host Middlesbrough. Another big game coming up on Tuesday as Bristol City take on Wrexham, so even if Derby do move into the top 6 today, it might not be for long. But a return to the top 6, the potential prize on offer for the Rams this afternoon as Derby County host Swansea here at Pride Park Stadium. And you can watch the action on RamsTV. We're available everywhere outside the UK, so go to dcfc.co.uk now to get your Game Pass. We'll have Sean Barker back alongside for Matchday Live from 2:30, so join us then. Goodbye for now.